Hello guys, today we are going to see a match between GM Pragnanandha Ramesh Babu and GM Vincent Kaimer. He is now popular just because he beat Magnus Carlsen on freestyle chess. So this game happened in 1 March in 2025. Let's start the game. Pragnananda with white and Kaimer with black. Pragnananda opens the game with e4. Kaimer responds with e5, solidifying the position, and then they both developed their knight, and Prague goes for the Italian. After he developed his own knight, Prague places d3, the main line of the Italian, and then black develops his bishop, white castles, and then the game continues with a6 and c3. Bishop goes back, a4, gaining space in the queen side and developing the rook, and Kaimer castles out. And then h3 has been played, and knight jumps, and then the bishop develops. Now this position is pretty balanced. Knight goes back, and then d4, h6, and then he bring his bishop back. And the important part is you can't push your pawn to square, because then you just lose the defense of your king. I can sack my knight on there for opening up your king, and just play so violently a checkmate, and then the queen is coming into the game. So, but he say, I just don't care about my king's protection. I can blast it. And Pragnanandha sacrificed his knight. As you can see, Stockfish 17 is saying that this is a brilliant move, because after take back, bishop takes king. I has to play king h7. This is the only move in this position. Otherwise, you can have a devastating attack. And then queens f3, trying to play some counter attack, and then king comes up. But by the way, you have to defend your own knight. The knight is the only defender for the king, and he's very strong for the king. And then he brings his bishop back to play queen g3 check. Pawn takes pawn, queen g3 check, and then king goes back. And then, by the way, that is the only move in this position. And then he just make his bishop up, and then he Vincent Kaimer developed his rook. He is trying to bring back his king for the his king's safety, and the knight jumps up. You can see the Stockfish is giving a little bit of advantage to Vincent Kaimer for this move. Before this is a draw, but he plays this, and he gave Vincent Kaimer teeny tiny advantage. And then Kaimer plays a brilliant move, queen to g8. This is just not a brilliant move. This is the also only move in this position, and this is just obviously amazing, because uh, although he can't move his bishop, because after the queen trades, he's just have no attacks, and Prague attack the knight, Kaimer attacks the queen, and then queens comes out, and then Kaimer plays a beautiful move, queen g6, that attacks the bishop, defends the knight, and become a protection for the king. And then Prague plays bishop f6, rook g8, and then Prague plays bishop d5, the only move in this position. By the way, you are threatening to bishop e4, forking the king and the queen, and so he defends the fork. And then Prague plays another awesome move, f3, bishop f3, what is the only move in this position that attacks the knight. You have to somehow defense, and he just makes a terrible mistake by playing rook e8. Mm, because I can now launch an devastating attack, or the position is Stockfish saying is this is a draw. But if I am successful on the attack, then I am winning. And then he plays another mistake. What is a huge terrible mistake? He climbs his king up for the knight safety, but now he just missed that he can fork those pieces, and then pawn takes pawn, no problem. But he has missed because he can play something like knight comes here to here attacking there, but that is no problem. The game continues with knight takes pawn. And then, by the way, if you take, then this is a miss, but yeah, although you can come back and win a piece, but if you wants to become greedy, then this is a mistake, because you just make a completely weakened king. So the pawn push is the only move. Queen takes, bishop takes queen, and he has to do this just for survive. Just imagine he goes back, then he has some problems, like some attacks. He can place the kings up, makes the rook in the game, also double up these rooks for attacking the king. So queen takes, he has to do this for survive. You can see on the evolution bar, he's saying that now white is just completely winning. Bishop takes queen, rook takes bishop, and then he plays the king up. You can see there is a huge time gap between these two, and this is the moment where just he blunders. Vincent Keimer blunders, because I am giving you a moment for thinking. Can you find the brilliant move from there? If you find, then you are an absolutely amazing. Queen takes rook, a brilliant move according to Stockfish 17. Okay, you have to take back, and now I can take the rook. In this position, you can see that I am, although being a rook for two piece, but you can see that I has this bishop for this, and then a knight for this. Now this I has a knight for the rook, and then a bishop for a rook, and then I'm just completely winning in there, because the game continues. The Kaimal didn't want to resign, and then bishop takes pawn up. He attacks the bishop defends the pawn, and then he takes the pawn, rook takes pawn, attacks the knight, attacks the bishop goes back, knight takes bishop, pawn takes pawn, and then after these few moves, rook takes knight takes knight, pawn takes, and then after those moves, Vincent Kaimer has to resign. What a sensational game from Pragnanandha Ramesh Babu. He's just now in top 10 in rapid section of chess in world top 10. He's just absolutely crushing every player. Even he beaten Magnus so many times. This is how he become popular. And although he is an amazing player, he has to just some time, because in rapid game he is a absolutely monster. He has beaten many of the big player. Even he had beaten Hikaru Nakamura. Actually, not beaten. He has drawn, and he has beaten Gukesh on a blitz. Actually, he is so amazing. You can see that Pragnanandha got 96.9, and he Vincent Kaimer got 90%. And then we has those lines, and then these things. So let's meet in another video. Bye bye.